special. All right, welcome everybody to a special episode of Joe Brameyer Presents right here on Neoplex Wrestling's YouTube page. And we are continuing on a little fun special I like to call Teaching Kayfabe, and that's why Casey is here, because Casey is starting to know a little bit about wrestling, a little bit, and kind of enjoying it, enjoying the ride at least.
Yeah.
But way more important than you or I sitting in here, Casey, is Matt Mayday, local professional wrestler on the independent circuit. Dude's been doing it so long and so good, he's teaching other dudes how to do it long and good. And so, which that sounds kind of odd to say, but I will tell you, you're a really well-known wrestler in the indie world, especially right here in the Midwest.
All right, I'll take it.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So let's jump off here. Is it my understanding that you are a trainer for Black and Brave? Is that correct?
Yeah, so I was really lucky that I got in with the guys that own it years and years ago when we all started. Remained friends with them the whole time, and when they needed I'm actually the assistant trainer, so when they needed an assistant trainer, I was lucky enough to get a phone call. So been doing that for, God, what are we at, 11 years now? 10, 11, I don't know.
You got to be pretty good in the ring, though, to be asked to train others.
I mean, we figured some things out over the years, you know.
Yeah.
We were all really lucky. We all ended up getting trained properly by the same guy out of Chicago, and he took really good care of us and got us on a really good path when we started wrestling. So we were able to pick up a lot as we went along, and I do owe a lot of that to that guy. His name's Danny Daniels. It's a terrible name, but
shout out to Danny Daniels.
Oh yeah,
you stay in pretty good shape. Like you're in good. You I think you probably have a pretty good motor as far as in ring. I can't imagine you get blown up too easy.
I think I do. I suppose if I'm trying to be unbiased, I do okay. But I was a runner in high school and stuff, and I don't run like I ran in high school, so I'm a little cross with my motor, but it still does okay in the ring. So
we just used a wrestling term right in front of Casey and didn't hit pause to explain what we're talking about.
I don't even realize what I'm doing.
I just said, will you explain to Casey what being blown up means in the wrestling world?
Well, it's when you're pretty winded and, you know, you're just sucking air and you want your body to move and it won't move. So
Okay.
But yeah, that's getting blown up, getting gassed, whatever you want to call it.
Are you able to watch the big products on TV, the WWEs and all that? Are you able to watch a match and recognize when someone is blown up for real?
I mean, yeah, you can tell. The thing about a lot of the guys on TV is they are all, even the ones you would say are the worst ones, they're all pretty good. So
they're in peak physical condition.
Yeah, it takes a lot for those guys to get pretty winded, you know. And I mean, there's different cases. You know, some of the bigger guys, they're gonna go at a different pace, but they all know what they're doing up there. So
would you say that's when most of the injuries happen, when someone's blown up and they don't quite put as much into the move as they needed to do?
I don't think so, because honestly, that is kind of just a part of the gig. Because I mean, if you're really working hard, you are kind of going to get a little blown up, just cause. I mean, you're supposed to give it everything you got, especially when things get, you know, you get more towards the exciting parts of a match and things like that. So getting tired or blown up, or maybe you got hurt or something, is no excuse. And I mean, sorry guys, I hate.
This is the trainer in you coming out. Train on, trainer.
I try not to peel the curtain back too much if I can help it. But the number one priority of professional wrestling, if you are a professional wrestler, the number one thing you do, if you do nothing else right, is don't get the other guy hurt. So, I mean, even if you can't breathe or something bad's happened to you and you're all screwed up, doesn't matter. You still got to do everything perfect so you don't get the other guy hurt. And I mean, it happens. It's eventually going to happen, but you got to do everything you can to prevent that. So,
in your world, well, let me just get right into it. I'm going to drill a little deep. Have you ever been involved in a match where somebody was injured really bad? or injured to the point where they
yeah.
can't. They were out for a while.
Oh yeah, yep. One of the ones that always sticks with me. I'm honestly, it's happened quite a few times. I'm lucky it hasn't really happened to me too badly. I've had some stuff here and there, but I've been pretty lucky. The one that I always think about was there's a guy. He actually trained with all of us too, and he wrestles for SCW locally as well. His name's Mason Beck. Big guy. He's like 6'5", near 200 or near 300 pounds. He's a huge guy, and we were having a match. And I did just like a little swinging thing where I was going to kick him. But when I came down, he had his leg right where I was going to land. So I landed right on his leg, broke the whole thing in half. Like his tibia and his fibia just cracked in half.
Where at? Like
Right
so,
here.
So right here,
Yep.
this
Right
bone
here,
just broke.
Both of them just sliced right in half from my back. My tiny little back. And he's a huge man. And I just wrecked it. So he says to me, "Oh, my leg is broken." And I'm like broken? He's like, "Yep."
During the match.
Broken. Yep.
During the match, you guys are communicating.
Yeah,
And he's
so
going,
I'm like,
now
all right.
what?
Well, let's go to the end then, I guess. But I mean, the end was him picking me up and power bombing me, which was a terrible idea, but we just did it anyway.
He made it through it.
I have no idea how, but he just picked me up and got me. So, but yeah, he was out for God. I think that was 7 or 8 months. He was out on that one. I felt real bad about it. I mean, technically it was his fault, but I still felt terrible.
So let's talk about that for a second, because you guys all are competing against one another to make it in your career, and so you're friendly competitors. Even though it sounds like a botch on his part, and that was out of your control. How long does that guilt kind of hang with you when you know it shouldn't hang at all? You should be able to just walk away from that and go, I did the best I could. But I'm sure there's, like you said, you felt guilty. Like how long does the real sting of it stick around? Or do you just got to move on? That's part of racing.
I mean, I don't have any like serious injuries that's ever happened to anybody that like I definitely just screwed up. So I don't know. Like I don't carry a lot of it, but at the time I just felt so bad for him because he's my friend, and like we'd come up together. He was in the same class as me training too, so like it felt bad that I knew he was gonna be kind of stall out.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it'd be like if I'd have actually screwed something up and really hurt somebody. Thankfully, that's never happened. Now that you brought it up, you've probably jinxed me. Thanks.
I hope not.
It.
I hope not. I see.
Too.
I kind of hesitate to bring that stuff up, but it's such a part of your world. Like
it can be.
It's just to me from an outsider's perspective who doesn't compete. I would feel like that's always in the back of your mind, no matter what, whether you're talking about it or not. And injuries can really set somebody back.
Yeah.
And so like it seems like a big part of the journey is not only building a strong character and building your move set and all that, it's also avoiding the whammies.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's, you can't plan for it, but also you can't, especially if you get, if you look at, Seth Rollins, he was firing on all cylinders for years there, right? And that knee went, and, he had a year off then almost. So, it's so hard to
When was
avoid.
that?
That was 26. I think it was the end of 2015. So 2015 was the big WrestleMania, right? And then, it was the end of that year, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly he bounced right back, but that's actually what it really is about. It's not about trying to avoid those kinds of things, because if they're going to happen, they're going to happen. They're out of your control for the most part, but it's how you bounce back from them. So it's kind of preparing for that.
Are you learning anything so far, Casey?
Yeah. So I guess one of the questions I've had from the beginning, I feel like, is that like, are the matches as a dancer I would use choreographed? Like, is that like,
yeah.
like, do you go in knowing like what moves, because like you have to work together, right? To make sure someone doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, is it freestyled a little bit?
Yeah, so it's
Like the match as a whole?
I
Maybe
guess
you
if we
can't
got
say.
that.
Maybe you
Nah,
can't.
we got that WWE Unreal on Netflix.
Well, I
now.
want to
It's
talk
like
to you about that.
They've ripped the curtain back. So the best way I could probably describe it, it's like if you're watching a live action movie, like just live right in front of you, but then also it's an improv at the same time. So some of it, yeah, maybe there was some talking. Some of it's just kind of feel, because especially with the live aspect of it, like if you're in the crowd, you guys are part of the match. Like we have to interact with you. If we're not doing our job. Like that's a big part of this. And honestly, that's why independent wrestling's so much fun too, because with WWE and some of the TV stuff, they're on TV. So their main audience is a TV audience, you know? So, and I mean, they interact with the crowd plenty, but just on the independent level, that's all we've got are the people in the chairs in front of us. So, like, that's the best part, because we get to just have a good time, just have a back and forth with you. I mean, there's times where I'll be in the ring, and if the crowd's just biting and having a good time and just doing whatever they want to do, I'm like, oh, I'm getting paid to have them do all the work now. Cool. I'm just in the ring just watching everybody do that and react to them, you know? It's great.
So, my God, there's so much to unpackage right there. That's good. So I could tell right when you came in here, like you are a purist. The minute we started talking, I'm like, you are such a fan of the game and such a purist that even talking a little bit about how we're talking right now maybe makes you feel a little uneasy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was brought up. It's not like that anymore, and we're not too bad about it nowadays. But, I mean, when we were trained and when we were around everybody, it was still that old mentality. It's like you don't let anybody know what's going on here. And I still think it is good to kind of, like, do that to a point, at least especially while somebody's at a show and somebody's bought a ticket, just because you don't need to be like, Santa Claus isn't real, huh? You know, like right in front of them when they're trying to escape and have a good time. So
that leads us into, and did you do your homework?
No.
I told Casey last week, I said, if you just do one thing for me. I never asked Casey to do anything for me. Never once have I ever asked. Casey is one of my right-hand people with my company, Treadmill Heroes, which we sell exercise equipment, by the way. Black and Brave should buy a treadmill or something to keep you guys in shape. Anyway, I can't remember what I was just talking about there.
What you asked me to
do.
Oh,
what I asked Casey to do.
Yeah.
I said, please watch the first episode of WWE Unreal on Netflix. Please watch it. Because I think that will give you and you didn't.
No,
so
and that probably would have helped me.
You failed the class, but there'll be plenty of other wrestlers. No one this good, but there'll be plenty of other wrestlers. So when I was gearing up to start watching that show, because I knew it was coming and I was looking forward to it, but I also knew my 9-year-old son was going to watch it with me.
Oh, okay.
And so him and I've gotten to become a wrestling fan all over again over the last 4 years, because he was old enough to watch the product and understand it on TV. Now, I grew up watching it, so like diehard fan all the way through high school.
Okay.
You go to college in the early 2000s, that's when it starts to peter out a little bit, you know. I didn't really get the whole John Cena thing when it first happened, and I was in college, and I didn't have a friend group set to watch wrestling with, so I just naturally life went on.
Yeah.
Son showed some interest in it. Our daughter watches it. It's fun. And so anyway, back to Unreal. Because all through our fandom of watching the show on TV, my son and I, when he would ask me questions, I would answer it in a way where it didn't completely pull the kayfabe curtain back. Just enough to, and I would always give him hints along the way, and I think he was starting to kind of pick up on, I would say things like, well, he doesn't really want to get him hurt. Like, and he would start to understand those things. So when we decided to watch this, I'm like, wow, the curtain's going to be really pulled back. And I would imagine somebody like yourself, who is a purist, who's a trainer. Did you take any offense to that show?
I don't know.
You watched it.
I think I'm 3 episodes in.
Okay.
There 6? I think there's 6 of them. 5 or 6.
5 or 6. But when you're watching it, how do you feel being in the profession that you're in?
Icky. I'm trying not to. At the end of the day.
No, tell me. I want to know your point of view.
I think it's a little too much. I mean, yeah, it's sure. We can pull the curtain back and honestly, like, people buy, I don't know, they don't do it anymore, but 10, 15 years ago, people were buying DVDs and they love to get all that, commentary from the director and all that extra stuff on there. And people enjoyed that. So I guess that's kind of what this is. And if it's enhancing people's enjoyment, I guess that's fine. Triple H put his seal of approval on it. So, like, if he's fine with it, I guess I should be too. I don't know. There's parts of it. I mean, most of it's fine, but then there will be some stuff where it's just, they're just showing you exactly what's going on. I'm just like, ugh, what is happening?
You know what?
Where my wrestling going?
So it's just like super behind the scenes.
Yes.
I need to watch it.
It is.
Obviously.
It really is.
You might see two superstars who just had one hell of a nasty match, and then it shows them when they get backstage and they kind of embrace each other like, man, we put on a great performance. We put on a great show, but you just saw the guy hit the dude across the back with a chair, And so my fear is I was kind of talking with Hollister about this, not this specifically, but I think in the world of wrestling, there's always this concern of where do we go from here?
Yeah.
And
well, all entertainment. Honestly.
All entertainment, right? And so how do you stay relevant? I mean, let's face it. I mean, what we're talking about's been relevant within pop culture and just our society. We'll just say since the 80s. Before that, fine, but at least since the 80s. And so how do you still stay relevant? How do you stay fresh? This whole idea of this Unreal series and LFG, by the way, which is kind of the same thing. It's kind of a reality show of building up a superstar. So you have seasoned superstars training new guys how to be elite WWE performers. But while watching that, they're like talking about choreographing a match. Like, what are you going to do? And so where do we go from here, man?
Yeah.
What do we do, Matt Mayday?
But
what do we do?
I mean, when was the first Tough Enough? Like 2001, 2002. So, I mean, it's kind of been happening. Tough Enough was the same thing where they just kind of it was a reality TV show where they had the winners got WWE contracts. And
Gotcha.
they kind of did the same thing on there. So, I mean, it's been happening forever. They've pulled back. I don't know. I think I'm just being way too much of a stickler about it all. But if people are enjoying it, then that's fine. That's good. That means I get to keep wrestling.
Do you think they had to, with like the growth of social media and like you're not able to hide your personal self as much anymore because of social media? Like, do you think they had to pull the curtain back a little bit? Because like these wrestlers are gonna like have promote themselves too, like not as a wrestler all the time. Like that's not who they are as a person.
Yeah, I don't know if they felt like they had to, but it did definitely, I mean, once you could just follow a human being that's a wrestler, that's not always a wrestler on their social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it probably got them thinking about how do we navigate that. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I guess most people people know, people just kind of know, even you not really watching a whole lot of wrestling, like you knew it's not like, oh, they're not actually killing each other. It's not MMA or anything like that. You know. Well, is MMA at work? Who knows?
Or the NFL. Or the NFL. Don't even get me going on that.
Any form of entertainment?
Any form of entertainment. I mean, there's a reason why the NFL is listed as an entertainment company and not a sports company.
How about that?
They're not a football company. They are an entertainment. Boy, you got me all.
Money-making machine.
You hit me with the cattle prod there, Matt, because that's now you're speaking my language.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to lose this thought. Are wrestlers in general, do they lack self-confidence?
I think you get two kinds of people, and you get either extreme. There's not really a lot of guys in the middle. You get people that have zero self-confidence, and then you get people that have way too much self-confidence. So,
isn't that wild? There are professional wrestlers out there who are very subconscious about their ability, about their appearance, about everything. They have little I wondered that, so please elaborate on that.
Well, for those guys, it's you get to not be that. And that's what I've found over the years is like, you get to take all that self-doubt and everything you have and be like, well, that's me in real life. But that guy in the ring thinks he's the best in the world. And that's me for 5-10 minutes from bell to bell. So it's a way for those guys to escape and kind of be the confident person that they want to be. So there's some guys that are like that. And then you've got guys that have all the confidence in the world, and you got to kind of pull them back a little bit and be like, all right, listen, that's great when you're in the ring, but hey, maybe in real life you gotta know how to behave, So
Well, it's probably like the Daniel Day-Lewis type of thing where certain actors, whenever they're working on a movie set, they remain in character the whole time. And it's method. It's and I would imagine in your world, in the locker room, backstage, it's like, hey, dude, dial it down a little bit here. Like
there's some guys.
Yeah, and
Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna name any names, but
right.
I've known plenty, and I once I got to the point where I was, kind of on the veteran side of things, I love them because I can just sit there and just laugh at them and not have to take them seriously. And maybe if they give me any trouble, I can be like, all right, go stop. Just stop all of this. But it was tough when I was younger, and you kind of have to, like, play the game with them. But now I just think they're hilarious.
Well, let's get a little deep here, Matt. Do you think who's got less self-confidence? The super loud guy who never dials it back down? Or the guy that's mild-mannered and then flips the switch when they get in the ring? You would think the mild-mannered...
some kind of, like, psychiatry degree
No, but okay.
You're onto something, aren't you?
I am onto something. So I've done a lot of work myself, which I think everybody does work on themselves, where, like, I'm just naturally a loud guy, but the loud guy can a lot of times be perceived as someone who doesn't have a lot of self-confidence, where I think I've got some self-confidence. I just do. I'm okay looking at myself naked, right? Figuratively, right?
Prove it.
Yeah, right now.
All right, come on, we're live. Let's go.
So here's where this question stems from. When I was growing up and in my early adult life, I loved lifting weights. I was never like the biggest guy in the gym, but I could hang with the guys in there. But I've known so many bodybuilders, so many guys that, man, when they're walking down the beach or when they got their shirt off, they just look like chiseled, like out of stone, right? But they are the most weak-minded, self-confident or self-conscious, right? I'm saying that wrong, but no self-confidence whatsoever. And I've often wondered that, like, on the professional wrestling circuit, because I got to imagine there's a lot of guys that are really hard on themselves when they don't need to be.
Yeah.
And there's guys who should be harder on themselves and they're not.
Yep. Yeah, and there's plenty of that. The one that really got me, and it was like, God, there was Undertaker was doing those like podcasts, audio things that they had on the network back when the network was around and had cool stuff.
Yes.
And he was interviewing Ric Flair in one of them, and Flair was talking about his like 2000s work where he'd like completely lost all of his confidence and stuff, and he ends up like, I mean, Flair's kind of a crier anyway, but
yeah.
He ends up like kind of crying and breaking down, talking about how his confidence is shot, and I'm like, you are Ric Flair. You are the best wrestler in the world of all time, and you had confidence issues. We're all screwed if you don't believe in yourself.
Yeah.
So that it can be tough. It can be tough, and as the years go by, it gets tougher. But that's probably just life anyway, right? I mean, it just more stuff comes up, and you're just like, God, do I even know what I'm doing? The more you learn, the less you realize you know, right?
Are you able to just turn the switch back after a match? Or do you need a little mental recovery?
No, I'm pretty good at it. Our trainer was real good about making sure we understand. They're like, hey, don't buy into your own BS. Do your thing, have your fun, but don't be that guy in the locker room. So I'm usually pretty good about that. Not too much of a problem.
How long you been working on your move set? Like your move set that you use right now. Do you have moves that you used back on day one that just still work for you, or has it evolved?
I don't know. There's a couple I've held on to for quite a while. I was a big X-Pac fan, 1-2-3 Kid, and all that stuff. So I based a lot of stuff off of him. He was more athletic than me, so I guess I couldn't do everything. But there's some stuff that I swiped from him, and I grabbed that pretty early and have held on to it for pretty much the whole time. But there's other stuff. You find stuff, you try something. If the crowd likes it, cool, we're keeping it. If they don't, you stop. If you get older and you can't do it anymore because your body sucks, then you throw it out, and find something else. And it's constantly evolving.
To show you how much of a wrestling nerd I am, one of your moves, and I think the move you're talking about is like the X-Pac bucking Bronco move.
Yeah, where I'm putting my business in somebody's face.
And which I want to talk about. I'm going to talk to you about the crotch name too, because I want to dive into that. But to me, Matt has his opponent down on his butt in the corner of the ring, and he runs in and basically lands on him right here with his legs going through the middle rope.
We're trying to get.
You're basically looking like he's stuffing his crotch in his face. Yeah. And it's like a bucking Bronco thing because you can like bounce off the ring rope. But then, as a little cherry on top, you've got a little penta in there where it's almost like you do like almost like a
penta, but yes.
Yeah, a little handstand up on the top rope. So he's bucking and then he flips up and he's doing a handstand on the rope, and then he swings back down and stomps him in the chest. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
I only saw the clip once, and I was impressed.
That's actually the one that broke Mason Beck's leg. It was the kick at the end. That's how I got him.
How? How'd you break it? How does his leg get broken from there?
He had it bent when I came down.
So he's sitting with his leg across here, and it gets kicked here.
Yeah. Yeah, he had it right here, which was my lane where I'm landing. Yep. Yep, that move usually gets a great pop, but that time I don't even remember what the crowd did. I was too busy going, oh, no. Because it hurt my back, too. And you know what? He got a steel plate in his leg, so his leg's better than ever. My back still hurts from it, so.
Is it easier? And we're gonna do a little curtain pull back here, but I have to here.
That's fine.
Do you encourage guys to grow their hair long? Or do you feel like that can turn into a crutch?
No, I actually am a big I'm real big on that. I tell everybody that. I'm like, you should grow your hair out. If it sucks, just cut it. And everyone's like, no.
Tell Casey why you should have long hair as a professional wrestler.
Well, it does do a lot of the work for me. If you got your hair getting thrown around and stuff, it looks like you're getting hit harder and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
There's some other stuff to it.
Do you wet your hair before you come out?
I don't. I'm pretty lucky that mine stays. I got pretty straight hair, so it doesn't get too unruly. So, there's some day. This summer, it doesn't really matter because you end up pretty sweaty by the end of it. We had there's been some outdoor shows that are they've been brutal this summer. So
I used to hate it when HBK would not wet his hair. He would. When you watched wrestling. As you will.
As I will. Yep.
You'll notice a lot of the guys, dang near everyone who comes out is like soaking wet. And why do they wet the hair?
It's that pre-match pump. They're just sweating from their workout right before the bell rings.
Well, I just like to have your skin all glistly and wet. It shows your muscle tone off better. But is that just kind of the same deal with the hair? It's just if your body's going to be wet, your hair should probably be wet too.
I do like the hair wet down more. I don't know. For me, I just never. I didn't think I should do it. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I think it looks tougher.
It does. I think you look cooler. But I don't know. I guess when I was younger, there was always cooler guys on the show than me. So I'm like, I don't need to wet my hair. The cool guy can do it. I'm fine. Yeah. I'm not cool.
You'll know, and then with long hair as well, it's easier to maybe communicate with your opponent in the ring. Like if I kick Matt and he goes down and all of his hair is down in front of his eyes, it might be easier for him to say, drop kick off the rope, or you really kicked me in the nads, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a receipt for that, which we learned what a receipt was.
Yep. Now I know that.
Yep, Shane's never shy about a receipt.
Do you really watch a lot of professional wrestling on TV? Are you a fan?
Do I watch? I do try to catch everything every week. Am I a fan anymore? I don't know. I'm a different kind of fan. I will say that, sometimes they say that, I think Shane talked about this too. People can use the word mark in a derogatory way, but like, we're actually the biggest marks because we were so stupid and nerdy that we were like, oh, let's do that. That'll hurt our bodies, but who cares? We like wrestling that much. So we're the biggest idiots of all. But I don't know. You start kind of just watching analytically after a while, and then it kind of changes what it is. When it's perfect, I still can just pop for it. It's hard to do perfect in pro wrestling. There's some guys that can do it. There's been times over the years where I've been like, oh, well, that was just fantastic. Everything was great there. But it's tough to get that, It's tough to hit a grand slam every single match, So, but
like if I was to watch a PLE with you, like what is my experience going to be watching it with you? Like, are you constantly going, all right, here comes the something? Like, are you a predictor of the match? Do you prefer to watch it in silence and just kind of absorb what they're doing out there?
I don't know. I'm not quiet about it, but I'm not like, I'm usually trying to like watch just to it's really just kind of digest what they're doing and see like if I can figure out, well, why did they do that? Oh, was that good? Oh, okay. The crowd liked that, Honestly, I'm probably paying more attention to the crowd than anything because that's the telltale sign of what's going well and what's not, If they make the noise that they wanted them to make, things are great, right? And if they don't, or it's a little quiet, maybe things aren't going so great. So
I'm so glad you mentioned that about the live audience and the TV audience. And on the indie circuit, you're just concerning yourself with the audience in the room.
Yep.
And that's tough as an entertainer to be conscientious of both the crowd and on the viewer on TV. One you're getting a reaction from, and the other is sitting on their couch.
Yeah.
And I think in your world, in the indie world, I think the live streams are coming, baby. I think they're coming. Like, I think what's going to happen is you're going to have pages that you can subscribe to and watch it live. And I am excited to become a fan of the indie wrestling scene because that's where all the cool kids are going to be hanging out. Yeah. I think the big products are getting so big and so bloated. You can only have so many fireworks and so many pull the curtains back and so many of this and that. I mean, I think people are going to gravitate towards something they can feel part of an exclusive club where you don't have to share it with everyone between here and Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
do you feel that way? Do you guys talk about that in your world?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's basically like, like a good analogy is just like music, like if you find that band before everybody else and then, then they blow up and you're like, oh, well, I liked them 5 years ago. That's how cool I am. So, yeah, I mean, we did that, when we were going to the independents, we got to see guys, like CM Punk, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Bryan Danielson. All those guys were on the indies, and we got to just watch them with the other 40 people in the audience, and they're right there in front of us. So then when they made it big, we're like, oh, well, yeah, of course they made it. They're the best in the world. Look, we got to watch them every week. So
do you kind of wear that as a badge of honor? And also, part two, do you root more for those guys than you do some of the other guys you might not have known personally on the indie circuit?
I mean, back in the day, yeah. I mean, I'd say we were all super excited when some of those guys started getting signed just because there was that time period where WWE was very much just who looks good. It was very much you've got to be 6'5" and 260 pounds. Like, those guys weren't on TV. And then once they did get on TV, so when we started training, our trainer, and I love our trainer, love him to death. And honestly, he was giving us the advice that he thought was the best advice, but he told us, don't plan on making it. Guys like us don't make it. This isn't, none of you are, 300 pounds and full of muscles. Like, you're not going to make it. So just have your fun. But like, once guys like Punk and all the others did start making it, it was like, oh, so we could do this if we want to. And I mean, now Seth Rollins was a completely different animal. He swore he was going to make it since the first day I met him, and we all made fun of him and told him he's crazy. But apparently he was right and we were wrong. So, but he's a special case. That's a special man. So, but yeah, it was just great to see that happen, because now, I mean, I don't know if half the roster's indie guys, but I would say close to half the WWE roster, they put their time in on the indies. So there's a path now. It's great.
Well, and go ahead. Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Like the indie circuit. So they don't all come from like the independent. Like, where else do they come from?
Just kind of anywhere. I mean, Logan Paul's a great example, right? He never wrestled a day in his life, but that man makes you money. So they're like, oh, you want to wrestle? Sounds great. And he's ended up being pretty good at it, and he actually seems to like it a lot. So, like, that one's working out great. But, yeah, they'll pull they always love athletes, college athletes, things like that. That's always a big one. Like model agencies, or like even some actors sometimes that maybe just never broke through. They'll grab from anywhere. They just need people that are special. If they can like put you on TV and people go, oh, I'm going to keep watching that, that's what they need, Which that's kind of why, as an indie wrestler, yeah, being a great wrestler is great. And at the end of the day, it's wrestling. That's what the product is. But like, you can't just be the best wrestler. Like, you've got to have that thing. Like Bryan Danielson's a great example. He was one of the best wrestlers ever 2 years into wrestling. Like, he'd been at it for 2 years and was already better than literally everybody else.
And we're talking in ring, like from an athletic wrestler standpoint.
Yeah. But then even also just as being able to kind of tell you a story, kind of take you on the ride, whatever. He kind of had all that figured out. But like, he didn't have like a physical appearance that was immediately like, oh, that guy, look at that guy. He's not Jason Momoa or anything like that, right? So like, he had to figure out a thing that just made people immediately gravitate to him. And then he had one show in WWE where he was just goofing around and kind of popped himself by going this way and saying yes, and that was it.
Ain't it wild?
Grabbed him, and that was it. That's all he needed. And now he's going to be remembered forever. So
that's one thing that I have always really, I don't think admired is the word, but just appreciated about professional wrestling. If there's just that one spark, that one thing that they say that a superstar might say on a hot mic that can immediately go onto a T-shirt or a sign or something, and man, it just, you go into the stratosphere when that happens. And there's a million examples of that we could point out. But one of the things that I scratch my head at is, at least the ones I have seen, the independent wrestlers out there do very little when it comes to social media, promoting their image and their brand. Now, I might not be following all the right ones. Now, I'm not talking the Matt Cardonas, or the Zack Ryders of the world. Like, I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about the guys that are right here in this area. I'm just perplexed. I'm like, you have a treasure trove of content where every time you have a match, why don't you have 15 reels from that match that you're putting out? Now, the question is, does the promotion not let you record? Like, does SCW, if you want to record your own match and post the whole dang thing on your Instagram page, will the promotion let you do that?
Yeah, I think SCW is pretty lenient about it. It can be a challenge to get their footage just because the IT guy, we got an IT guy, Tad, and he's not the best at getting footage out to people. But I'm pretty sure that Marek allows everybody to record it on their own phone and then just be able to put it out however they want to. You are right. It is it's definitely not as utilized of a tool as it should be. I'm guessing once it becomes a burden, people just don't want to do it. But like, do you want to make it? Because that's a real easy step to help get you there, you know? And the guys, we do have some guys that are doing it right. I can think of a couple where I'm just like, can you please stop posting stuff because I need to stop seeing it. But I mean, they're doing it correct. Like you can't go through your social media without seeing crap from them. So like,
you'll have to give me some of those names because I want to follow. I want to see what they're doing. Like it baffles me. Like if I had a match coming up at the Bluegrass Community Center against Matt Mayday, I would be on Instagram cutting promos.
Yeah, well,
I'd be like, I'll be there, and I can't wait to, blah blah blah.
Yeah, now that one's one you got to be careful with, where you do have to have some communication with the promoter, because maybe you say something that doesn't gel with what they're trying to get from.
Wouldn't the promoter be all just revved up for that?
Yeah, definitely. They'd want you to put out content, but you have to be careful that you don't like say something that's like, well, actually, that wasn't what we were thinking was going to happen here. We actually had some plans. This was what we were going to do. Now, that's a simple conversation, but also not to get grumpy about 20-year-olds these days, but sometimes they don't have the simple conversations, so that can be the problem. But, yeah, you're definitely right, though. I mean, social media is a great tool. That is one thing I do feel bad about because I'm not super effective about it, so I can't give a lot of advice on it, but there are a lot of the guys we do have at the school that are pretty good at it, so they can provide like a good amount of advice on what to do. And it really is just actually just putting in the work, honestly. But yeah.
Well, I think it just kind of goes back to like, well, I'm going to be performing in the ring. I'm going to have a match. I'm going to give them the best match I can give them. You need me to cut a promo on the mic while I'm there, I'm going to do that. But then it's like, okay, well, when the show's over, the show's over. And maybe I think for some guys it's just hard to rev up that engine on a Wednesday afternoon and start cutting promos on their Instagram page or their whatever. I don't know. I look at it where posting content it's so much work. It's so much work. It takes so much time. Like for me to do a 1-minute reel, like a clip, it takes me an hour.
Ugh.
It takes me an hour. And that's not me being like persnickety on things. That's just like, okay, I'm gonna look at this interview. Oh, we were talking about this. By the time I cut that chunk out and then reformat it and cut it up, get rid of all the dead ums and ahs and all that stuff, it's an hour.
Yeah.
With the captions and everything else. But you have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up, Cardano, and I mean, that's a prime example. That man remains relevant because of that. I mean, he got relevant initially because of that. He was the first one doing YouTube videos or whatever it was. So, like, I mean, you got to do it. You just got to do it,
What's your finisher?
So I was a real big fan of, do you know Brian Kendrick? He was in WWE for a little bit. He actually trained with...
Did he wrestle under Brian Kendrick?
Eventually. He was spanky on the indies because he liked the Little Rascals, even though he's like my age.
Okay.
Yeah, it was weird. But so he got into WWE, and I think he was initially spanky, and then they changed him to Brian Kendrick. He tagged with like Paul London. He never really like broke out, but I loved him, and so I just stole his finish. It's a sliced bread number 2, or whatever the Japanese name is. Shiranui? I don't remember. Marufuji's finish.
What's it look like?
Like it just grabbed the dude like a stunner and run up the buckle, and they land like a DDT, like a reverse DDT.
You run up the ropes and then kind of go off the rope like a stunner, kind of.
I end up you're thinking Spike Dudley. Spike Dudley's thing. No, this one like I kind of go back. I land on my stomach, and then they land on the back of their head, like Scorpion Death Drop kind of thing.
In general, do guys in your world like to talk about the big brand like WWE and stuff like that? Do you guys enjoy talking about that, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's.
You're still fans of you're students of the game, and so those guys are at the top of their game. So you, imagine
people want to get there. They get some pretty good checks out of that place. So people would like to have that job. So, plus, I mean, it's. Most guys, it's not even so much about the money. It's just, you want you want to be in that ring in front of those people and on that TV. You know, that's the dream for a lot of people. So, of course, we're going to talk about it, you know.
You know what band I saw and bought like their CD at the venue and played it for everybody who had never heard of them was Breaking Benjamin.
Oh, like the first one?
When the
back in
Saturate album,
Yep.
when that came out, they first went on tour, and I became a fan that night at that. They opened, I can't remember who they opened for, but they were like the opening act. And I was
around here.
Yeah, at the Mark. They
Probably
were
Seven Dust. My money's on Seven Dust.
probably something like that.
Because you know, if it's 4 months, they're going to be in town playing some venue.
Well, I'll tell you, have you heard of Breaking Benjamin, Casey?
I've heard of, yes.
They're a great rock band. Are they still around?
Yeah, and they're still at. He's got a weird. He had some alcohol problems that led to some weird disease where his body just like hurts some days, like really bad, like he can't even get up. But he's still touring. Like it's how he makes his money. So they had an album a couple of years ago. I don't know. I'm into way too much old dad rock now.
Well, I
guess we're
commented on
calling
your
it dad
Stabbing
rock.
Westward T-shirt. Like,
Yes.
I've never seen a Stabbing Westward T-shirt. That's
I
great.
didn't have one for 20 years because they'd broken up, but they're back.
They're back, baby. Do you go to rock concerts a lot? Do you go to concerts in general? Is that your thing?
I mean, not as much as I should, but I try to make stuff. This was my new metal summer. I got to see. Do you remember Cold?
Oh yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna give you one. Stupid Girl.
That was them.
Yeah. Yes.
So they had the 25th anniversary and the 20th anniversary of two of their albums, and so they went. They actually played at our Iowa City venue at Wildwood. So I went out to that, and that was awesome. And then I went to that one of the Rust Belt that had it was Union Underground and Spine Shank. I'm not a big Union Underground guy, even though, I mean, we all loved the Raw theme when they did it, which I'm sure
Yes.
they played. I had to leave because I'd be up early, but I did go to see Spine Shank because I love them. They're a terrible new metal band. Don't even look them up. I love them to death. I love them, and they were excited too. They were like, we were worried that nobody would remember us, but you guys are going crazy in this pit. I'm like, oh, of course, Spine Shank. Why wouldn't we?
And you're taking me back with all those names.
Yeah,
all those
most
bands that were hot when Casey was in elementary school.
Yeah, most people quit on these. They're like, okay, cool, let's move on. It's past the 2000s now, but I can't.
Yeah, there was a couple year run there where that genre of music was just smoldering hot.
Yeah.
You couldn't get away from it.
It's friggin' Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit. They kind of opened the door on that.
Cut a promo on your next match. Where's your next match going to be?
That's a good question. So, we had an event happen. It's been a couple months now where I wrestled the champion of SCW, but if I lost, so it was Eric Gasnight. He's got like this religious gimmick, where clearly he's not going to be a fan of what I do. So I was challenging him for the title and everything, and he ended up kind of finagling his way out of matches, where he'd cheat and stuff, the whole thing. So we had one, and if I won, I'm the champion. If I lose, then Crotch is gone from SCW, and I lost.
Oh, how do you get a new contract signed?
Well, so the thing was, that was the trick we played. It was
Wait, so like, really?
Well, that was the work, right?
well, so what it was that Crotch was gone from SCW. I could still wrestle. I just couldn't do the thing I've been doing for 21 years. So we're kind of in flux right now, trying to see where things are going to go. So, I mean,
is this a good opportunity for you? Is this like a, hey, I have something built into the storyline where I can kind of give myself a facelift and kind of refine my character? Do you look at it that way?
I think the main how I feel about it right now is pretty lost. Like, I don't know if I know how to wrestle without just being a weird, inappropriate person like I have been for 20 years. Also, I mean, especially in the Quad Cities area, like I've kind of got, that's what people recognize me as. I mean, I can't walk. I'm Walmart famous, guys.
Do you get noticed? Do you get noticed
without somebody yelling crotch, which I then promptly ignore just so they keep yelling crotch in a department store or
That's
a Walmart.
great.
So then didn't you hear me? I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, dude. Everybody else who doesn't know me is just looking at this guy like he's insane. But which I mean, that was the fun of what I've been doing for all this time. So I'm pretty terrified to not have that anymore. So I guess
maybe it's a sore subject. I don't know, but so you don't get to choose that happened.
Well, I mean, we had some conversations about some stuff. Like we were talking about things.
Meaning you and the promotion?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I don't know. I don't know what we're doing yet. It's strange. It's a strange place to be. I've wrestled some other companies over the summer, not for SCW, but and I was still kind of doing my thing there. But yeah, as far as SCW goes, I wouldn't say I'm done, but I don't know what the hell we're doing. So it's gonna be an interesting time.
You know what's going to happen now.
Tune in to find out.
You know what's going to happen. I'm on my way home tonight. I am going to think about. I wonder what kind of character I could give Mayday. What kind of idea could I give you? Because I'm never going to be able to be a professional wrestler, but I have ideas rolling around in my head. So
that's great. I'm not that creative, so.
Oh man, I
found my one thing and just kind of stuck with it. So
is this okay? So I know when we were talking, I think it was with Shane Hollister about how WWE they own people's names, they can't use it. Are you able to go wrestle somewhere else as Crotch?
Yeah, especially on the independents. I mean, it's completely independent contractor at this point. And WWE's halfway like that. They're in a real convenient spot for the company where they can be like, well, you work for us, so you have to do this. But also you're an independent contractor, so we don't have to do this. But,
yeah.
That's how rich companies get rich. So, you can't blame them. But, or maybe you can, I don't know. But, yeah, for me, it's just, it's all mine. It's all mine. It's actually, there was a really funny event. Have you ever seen Marek Brave's botched shooting star press?
No, is that like a viral video out there?
And it's like an old school viral video.
And Marek Brave, the co-founder of Black and Brave Wrestling Academy.
Yep.
Okay, so he's got a botched video. So tell me more.
Yes,
tell it because I'm going to make a clip out of it anyway. I'm gonna clip in this reel. I'm going to find it.
Please do.
Yeah.
So he's got plenty of stories, so I can take this one from him. He was on one of the bigger independent promotions in 2004, 2005, and the show was on April 1st. The show was titled "We're No Joke," and in this match. So Ricochet was in this match. It was a crazy 8-man ladder match. Just
a guy that made it to the majors.
Yeah.
Okay,
and he's a super athlete. He can do things that literally nobody else is doing.
Cirque du Soleil type stuff.
And so this match was actually, I think it might have been the first time he ever did the double moonsault, which is where you do a backflip twice.
Oh,
so yeah,
off the top rope.
Well, he did it off a ladder, so he had a little more room to do it. But even so, it's insane. So he goes, he's going to do that in the match. And so Marek is like, Jesus, well, if he's going to do a double moonsault, what am I going to do? I got to do something to try and top that. So he's like, I'll do a shooting star press from the top of the rope, from the top rope to the outside through a table. It's like, people like that. That'll be great.
Can I take a timeout and explain to Casey what that is before you go on so she can follow too? So, and I want to test my wrestling knowledge. A shooting star press is you're standing on the top, in the corner of the ring on the top rope.
Okay, yeah.
Opponent is down, and you jump and do a backflip while holding on to your ankles. Sometimes they do, but it's a back.
If you need it.
If you need it. But it's a backflip, and then you do a belly flop onto your opponent in the ring.
But the backflip's happening as you're going forward somehow.
Yeah.
I don't understand the logistics. I am incapable of doing it. So.
And a moonsault is you're on the top rope, or in this case on the ladder, and your butt is facing the opponent,
so
and then you do a backflip. Yeah. So a shooting star press optically looks way more insane.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're doing
A
twice
double
the
moonsault
Yeah.
off a ladder. Yeah.
His
So
ricochet's crazy.
anyway, I wanted to make sure that you were following this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I mean, and Merrick had done this move since his second match was the first time he ever did it. He's done it plenty of times. It's always looked great. Never had any problems. So the problem though is this independent company, while being one of the bigger independent companies at the time, did not have the best ring, and the ropes were not in the best of shape. So you kind of don't have the spring you need on it. And Merrick goes to do this thing, and he jumps in the air, and he vividly remembers. He told me he vividly remembers as he's doing it. He's like, oh, man, this is going to be so awesome. I've got it. I can feel it. But he couldn't get any forward momentum with it. So he just did a backflip right onto the turnbuckle.
Oh.
Just folded like an accordion. The guy on the table who he was supposed to eliminate, this was an elimination match. The guy who was supposed to get eliminated sees this happen and then just kind of rolls off the table because Merrick's still kind of tumbling downward. And he's like, I don't want to be anywhere near that. So he rolls away. Merrick goes through the table. They count that as an elimination, even though he wasn't supposed to be eliminated at that point. And it's just a mess. So, but yeah, if you haven't seen it, look it up. It's not the most famous thing he's done, but it's certainly up there. So
I have a quick question on, so I know you guys train for these things.
yeah.
The move you were explaining, if you were to do that and come, say you're supposed to land on someone, how do you not hurt someone? I don't if I was watching that, I would think that you can't control your whole body weight not landing on them, right?
Yeah, you can't. And it doesn't feel great depending on the guy. But
Okay.
I mean, if nothing gets broken and nothing is
Then it's
not
good.
working, then we'll just hopefully I'll get my win back soon.
Okay.
Do you just not naturally, maybe you have to grow it over the years, but your pain threshold, do you have a really high pain tolerance?
I don't think I do, but I think one of the best things wrestling did give me is it helped me distinguish between when something just hurts and when I am injured, when it's like, oh, something is wrong. Because that's all pain really is, right? It's just trying to tell you that something bad might be happening to you. But the nice thing about pro wrestling is we get taught how to do it, so it's everything is fine if it goes this way. So if something goes that way, even if it hurts, I'm like, well, it's fine. I can get up. My hands work. My feet work. I'm good. It's fine. So
It's almost like shock management, right? Where if something hurts really bad, you've conditioned yourself not to go in shock mode to then where you miss a beat.
yeah, as long as I know everything went right, and when it goes wrong, I can think of the times where I'm like, yep, that was right on my head. I am in a lot of pain right now. This is not fun anymore. So
For what I mean by that is, have you ever done cold plunges?
I've not actually.
Okay, I've only done a handful of them because I'm a super puss, right?
What are they trying to do? What is that doing?
It really strengthens your immune system. It
Okay.
basically your body, it goes into shock mode, and what it does is it kills a lot of dead cells. It helps rejuvenate your immune system.
Okay.
But also, what I found was the most valuable part of it is managing the shock, because when you first go into the super cold water, I'm not a pro, like I said, I've only done this a couple times. When you first go in, you naturally start to panic. You're like, and
Seems like an appropriate response.
yes, yeah. But if you can get past the first 30 seconds of the shock factor, the pain is very manageable, because it hurts, but it's very manageable. And they say doing cold therapy is, one, super beneficial for the health benefits, but if you find yourself in a situation where all of a sudden you're kind of in panic mode, what cold plunge therapy does, at least for me, I feel like it helps manage that so you don't go into shock mode.
Okay.
So in the ring, I would almost think like if you know a chest chop is coming, you are preparing to get into the cold water where you're going to manage it. So I got to a point where I could go into the cold water and just be like, And then you just kind of absorb it. And you know, if once I get past this 30 seconds of pain, the pain is very manageable. So now, if somebody just shoved me into a cold plunge and I didn't know it was coming, I think there'd be more shock factor there.
Yeah.
So same in the ring. What I would almost imagine from a non-wrestler, I would almost imagine that you've gotten your pain tolerance so high where a shot that would shock me if I took, it doesn't shock you because you've conditioned yourself to that type of cold plunge therapy.
Maybe. Because there's parts of your body that just it takes a lot to really harm them. So I don't know if something's hitting me in a spot where I know I'm good to go. I don't know. I don't really worry about it.
It hurts, but you're not focusing on it hurting.
I just don't care. Some guy, you brought up chops, and some guys get real whiny about. I mean, at this point in my life, I would rather you chop all the skin off my chest than let me take like 4 or 5 bumps, because you only get so many of those, and those are eventually going to do some damage that I don't get to keep wrestling with. So it's just a chop. It's not great, especially if Gunther's doing it, but life goes on,
I don't know, man. I think at your school, I think you guys should have a cold plunge. I think you do. I think you guys have a cold plunge.
We had like a little portable blow-up one for a couple days. We got a guy that was, he's just a freak of an athlete. He was an ex-Marine dude, and he had a buddy that like brought one in and had it there for a couple weeks, and he was doing it. And I mean, I'm sure you're right, but God, he did not look like he was having fun.
No, it sucks.
He
it
was
sucks.
just in there just screaming. And I mean, it was last summer. It was one of the hotter weeks last summer, and it was hot out, so you'd think, oh, maybe it's kind of nice, but no, he did not want to be in there. So. And I've done, so I saw that, like, even if you're not doing cold plunges, there was somebody saying to, like, do at least 2 minutes of, like, a super cold shower, just, like, right at the end of your shower, just the cold water. I was doing that for a little while, but it's not fun at all. I like a hot shower, so I was just like, no, I'm not feeling this. But I probably should be doing it. I'm sure you're right.
We're such creatures of comfort, though, too. It's so hard to be in a warm shower and be like, all right, the last 30 seconds here, I'm going to put it on ice cold.
Yep.
And same with the cold plunge. Like, you have to actively go get it. Like, no, you're going to get in it and do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. To me, cold plunge and make the guys cut a promo while they're doing a cold plunge. Manage the shock factor. Manage the shock factor.
God.
Do you cut many promos? Are you a promo guy?
Yeah, I kind of got there. I had some go-tos and some stuff. It's hard when you're younger because companies don't want to dedicate a lot of time to you. A lot of guys will come into the school and they've got this character and all these things they want to cut on these promos and everything. It's like, dude, you're getting 4 minutes in that ring and none of it's going to be on the microphone. So, like, you're going to have to figure the rest of the stuff out, too. So you eventually, it's kind of like a privilege to get promo time, in all honesty, especially on the indies. So I didn't get to do a lot at first, but, as I got along in the ranks, I got to do more stuff.
So I've been to very few indie shows, and I'm fully anticipating going to a bunch, especially now that I'm becoming fans of you guys. But
if I'm coming back.
If you're coming back, who knows? Who knows? But that surprises me that are you telling me there's not many promos, period, within a independent show in this area?
It's the problem is then you've got to plan for stuff, and there's a lot of pro wrestling out there. There's not always a lot of really like put together companies, so sometimes that's a little bit of a challenge for them to get together. Obviously, SCW does a pretty good job of it. They know how to put a show together. And honestly, with, like you said, with social media and stuff, that does actually give people more practice than they've ever had. I mean, when I was younger, I just didn't have that. So, like, now if you really do want to be a promo guy, well, you could just put it up on your account. And then companies will share that stuff because it is just extra content. Like I said, as long as what you're saying is working with what they want to do. So, but yeah, it is nice that is there now, because obviously if you want to make it all the way to the top, I mean, there's guys that for 3 weeks, all they're doing is cutting a promo for 10 minutes, and they don't even have to wrestle, which, I mean, that's the gravy spot,
Do you have T-shirts?
I do have T-shirts.
So I saw one that says Jesus loves crotch. I'm guessing that was to do with your, the program you were working with the other guy that does kind of a religious.
That was
shtick.
actually just a happy coincidence.
Oh,
because,
really?
My parents' best friends, the wife is a pastor, and she wanted to come to a show and thought it'd be hilarious to make those shirts. So
how
she and
great.
all the people that she came with had these shirts. And poor Eric, the guy who was wrestling, he comes out and they just start laying into him. And he's like, he's trying to stay in it. And, obviously.
Is he the baby face?
No, I'm the baby face.
Oh, okay.
He's trying to get mad at him, but he's just like, he was not prepared for that. He's just like, what is this? And then he put up some promos about me or made some comments on Facebook, and then she started like railing into him in the comments about, well, I'm a pastor and I think he's great. And she's just like, he actually messaged me and was like, did I actually make her mad? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to actually get her upset. And I'm like, no, dude, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, she's great.
Have you always been lean, or do you have to work at staying lean?
No, I have always been lean. I mean, when I started, I was so far below what the bar was for professional wrestling.
Meaning you were skinny.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're not skinny. Like, you're lean. Like, you're muscular.
I'm skinny. We're going to go with skinny.
Well, I don't know. You kind of got the whole Shawn Michaels thing going a little bit.
If I could get to Shawn's weight, I'd be thrilled. But
yeah, because at his peak, he was probably, 190s?
He might have dipped into the twos when he was pretty puffy for a little bit there. But then when he leaned down, he was probably sub 2.
So is it hard for you to put on the muscle you got now?
Oh, yeah. Well, and I don't eat enough. We say hard, but, like, you just do the work, and I don't do the work, Like, I work out, but I'm not eating like I should, But honestly, though, I'd rather have that because there's been some times in the ring where I probably would have had some serious injuries if I'd weighed more. So there's been a couple where I'm like, oh, glad I don't weigh anything. Less coming down on my neck. That's good.
Are you pretty flexible?
Not anymore. Once upon a time, yes. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Time has taken that from me.
Well, I mean, I got to say, you're a pretty humble guy, but you still look put together in the ring. Like, you look like you're staying in really good shape. Like, it doesn't come all naturally. Like, you got to, like you said, you got to still stay in shape and put in the work.
Yeah, well, and you have to have, one thing that I learned later than I should have was having a little bit of muscle does help, like with some padding at least. When you're just clanging your bones down on that mat, it's like, oh, this feels terrible. And actually, some of the girls are really struggling nowadays with their shelf life because, they're slimmer than all the guys. So, like, their bodies are breaking down a little bit faster than the guys just because, there's not that extra padding. So that's why that's probably why you see a lot of the girls really starting to pack on some muscle. Like, a lot of them are in far better shape and can lift way more than I ever will. So.
There are you got to start watching it, Casey. There are some female superstars who are just in insanely good shape, and built and really built. And by the way, I had heard that there's not a ton of women on the independent scene. Is that true?
It's still predominantly male. There's a lot more women than there used to be. I think what happens a lot is. It's either a little bit of maybe just like the fandom hasn't reached into the female population as deeply as the men yet. But then I also think that a lot of the girls that are decent kind of get pulled up a lot quicker just because there aren't as many trying to get those spots as there are guys trying to get the spots. We got 2 girls from our school that are in TNA now. And, the one graduated 4 years ago, so that's like fast. 3 years ago, maybe. I don't even know. So,
well, let's plug the school. Let's plug the school. You want to plug the school? You want to plug your page? What do we want to plug here?
We should probably plug the school. I hate to be arrogant, but it's literally the best school in the world if you want to be a pro wrestler.
Is it really? That world.
I don't care. I'm not being arrogant. It's just literally we have such a great setup. if nothing else, just for the fact that we have a school that's open 7 days a week. If you really want to make this happen at any level, you can literally get in there every day and you can work on your craft and you can get better and you can do your thing.
So you can literally walk in and say, I want to learn how to be a professional wrestler. And provided you're paying your membership dues or however it works, you can be part of the school. Like, I got to imagine you got to have some kind of chops, right?
So basically, the process is you need to go to the website. There's an email on there. There's an application form you fill out. That gets looked at by Marek. He does them all. He looks through every single one of them, and it's going to make him kill himself one of these days.
You say that like there's a lot. Is there a lot of people?
There are a lot.
Like, what's a lot?
Like, he probably answers, I don't even know because I've never had to deal with it. I would estimate he's probably getting 20 emails a day. Now, how many of them are legit and serious as serious can be? That's,
Okay,
but
so this isn't a come one, come all. Like, there's an application process here.
Yes, because we only, the most we have in a class is 15 people per class, because if you get more than that, we're going to be rushing through stuff. And, like, you got to learn everything. So, like, we don't want to have it where we're just jamming people in to make the money just to, not have them get trained properly. So there's only 15 a class. We're booked till 2027. So it's a waiting list at this point, which honestly is great for you because if you are serious about it, then it gives you an opportunity to really dial it in and really do your thing and show up ready to do the thing. Does that always happen?
What do you do? What do you do if you want to join Black and Brave and you can't?
Well, I mean,
what are the other options? Like when you say work on your craft, like are there other schools that you could go to?
What I'm saying is, like, if you get accepted, you're accepted for 2027, 2028.
Oh, okay.
So, but that gives you time to, maybe you're not in the shape you need to be yet, or maybe, you could, even if you just want to learn the product more, or maybe go to independent shows and help out and stuff. And I mean, you can go get trained by other people. I don't know if it's worth spending the money on it, but even just getting around some other independent shows and just kind of learning what the start of it looks like, that'll help you get a leg up. But yeah, we only do 15 a class. And I mean, God, we're economical too. Like, we just finally raised the price to $4,000 because every other school had. Like, we were like one of the cheapest schools at that point. And we're in a really great position too, just because one of the owners is in a really good spot financially, so he's able to just kind of provide all this stuff. Other schools, it's nothing against them, that they can't have the school open all the time, but you have to pay for the electric. You have to pay for the heat in the winter and stuff. So we're in a great position where that's just there for you. So, and, other stuff too. He's got some, we can help you out with housing and stuff like that. If you're coming from far away, it's a great setup logistically. But then also, I really feel like we always, had a pretty good understanding and approach to pro wrestling, all three of us, honestly. And then once Seth Rollins gets to WWE and gets to be around the best minds of wrestling of all time, he shares that with us, and then we're able to share that with everybody that comes to the school. So there's really not a whole lot of other places that can compete with stuff like that. There's some other great minds out there you can get trained by, but just all the other stuff that comes with all this, it really is. I mean, if you want to be a pro wrestler, I would suggest you come to us.
How long is the program?
It's 3 months. It's going to be 12 weeks. And that's for the initial course. Once you graduate, you can just come back as much as you want. You can try to wrestle for SCW if you're in the area. We have a ton of other wrestlers around the area that wrestle at a ton of other promotions, because there are a ton of other promotions in the area. So
these aren't just Quad City people. These are people from all over saying, I want to come in for the 3-month course.
Yep.
And because when you said help you with housing, I was like, well, what do you mean help with that? That makes sense then. So you have people coming in specifically for this school.
Yep.
I bet you guys see some pretty good talent come through.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's I mean, there's been plenty of people that have just blown our minds. And it's interesting to watch, like, over the 10 plus years that we've done it now. It's interesting to just kind of watch how everything goes for people. You'll see these people that are just the craziest athletes you've ever seen, but maybe it just doesn't click right there in their head, or they end up they don't like it, or sometimes it does, and then watching them figure it out. Or then you'll see these guys that they come in and, like, physically things just aren't what they need to be, but, like, they've just got this knack for just being entertaining, and then you just watch them just be one of the crowd favorites on every show they're on. So it's great to see all these different people, and they're from, I mean, we literally get people from all over the world, you know? I mean, we've had people from, we had one class, 2 classes ago, we had 2 Bulgarians and a guy from Chile or something like that. It was some South African country. I mean, they just come from everywhere. And that's the fun part, too, is because, like, there's all these people that would have never interacted with each other, and they're all different. None of them act the same at all, and then they have to come together and do this pro wrestling thing, and it's fun to watch them.
That's cool.
It really is. I
didn't realize it was that renowned. I just thought it was a good wrestling school in the area. I didn't know it was that well known in the wrestling world.
Well, and it's also unique, whereas you know, I mean, it's become more difficult over the years for him to be as present, but, like, Seth was the first active pro wrestler to have a school running. You know, I mean, there's been plenty of wrestlers that have ran schools, but it's usually, you know, after they've retired or after
Sure.
there's something like that. But I mean, he was active during our biggest years for it. He still pops in, you know, so it's great to have somebody who's right in the mix of things currently, and he can literally tell you, like, week to week, you know, like, well, this is kind of working, so maybe you guys should be thinking about this or trying this, you know. So it's great to have that, like, immediate feedback from the top. So
Matt, you've been a great guest.
it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, well, and you know what the pleasure has been for me, Casey, is, and I'm not stroking your ego here. I love how much in love with the game you are. Like, you love the game. Like, you're very passionate about what you do, and you're proud of it, and I appreciate that.
It's just been, I mean, I'm so lucky that I got to have all of it in my life. I try to, I think what everybody should do, especially as they get older, is try to remember what they were like when they were, like, 13, 14 years old, and then just ask yourself, like, if 13 or 14-year-old me could see what's going on now, how would he feel? And if he'd think it's the coolest thing ever, then I must be doing something right. So
I'll let you know when I get over 14 years old mentally.
Right.
I'll let you know. Matt, maybe not Crotch Mayday anymore. Maybe just Matt Mayday. We'll have to stay tuned to find out. And we can follow you on what?
God, right now I'm just on Facebook right now is Matt Mayday. So
Matt Mayday. I think you have an Instagram page, don't you? Well, maybe what you post
Facebook does this thing where you just have one now, and, like, people will tell me I've posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had an Instagram app in my life. How does that even work? So I guess I kind of do. I don't know.
Well, look for Matt Mayday on Facebook with all of us old folks, and Instagram, maybe. Yeah, it's out there whether you know it or not. You have an Instagram page.
Yeah, it exists.
Oh, well, good luck. I can't wait to see your next match. I know it'll happen. I know it's coming.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, you'll just have to come to all the SCW shows and see when I pop up.
We will be there. I hear
they've got a big anniversary show coming up.
All right, and I'm going to have Casey give us a full report on all your homework you have to do now.
I'll watch something.
Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I'm Joe Braymeyer with Neoplex Wrestling, and this was fun, dude. This was fun. Matt Mayday, Casey Robeson, and for what it's worth, I'm Joe Braymeyer. Have a good night, everybody.